Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Astranti Connect. Today, we're going to be talking about family systems therapy, which is an approach in therapy that looks at the family as an emotional unit, and it can untangle even the most complex family dynamics. Whether you are just curious, studying psychology or counseling, or maybe you already work in the field of mental health, this information will give you a really comprehensive perspective of the ideas behind human behavior and family and relationships. So let's start with the basics. What is it? Well, family systems therapy, or FST, looks at the family as a whole interconnected emotional unit. Unlike other therapeutic approaches which focus on individuals' behavior, FST looks at how the behavior of an individual affects the entire family system. It was originally developed by Murray Brown, one of the pioneers of family therapy, and it's rooted in the idea that nobody exists in isolation, especially when within a family. As an example, let's think of family systems therapy or a family like gears on a clock. If one of the gears goes out of balance or breaks, it can throw the whole rest of the system off of balance. So, family systems therapy looks at the gears or the individuals in the family and focuses on how they can work and live harmoniously together. Now, let's define and break down the four key concepts in family systems therapy. Learning these key concepts will help you understand how therapists help families to operate more smoothly. The first key concept we have is differentiation of the self. So, this is someone's ability to separate their own emotional thoughts and feelings from that of their families. So, we would think of somebody with higher differentiation being able to think independently and not be too overly influenced by other family pressures or emotions. And this concept is really key because it helps people stop being swept up by the emotions of other people in the family. The next key concept we have is triangles. Now, triangles occur when a third family member is swept up into the conflict of two other family members. Now, this often happens when the conflict between the two original family members becomes too intense. So, there's this idea that bringing a third person in may ease that tension. However, it doesn't tend to get rid of the underlying issue, it just adds more complicated dynamics. Have you ever noticed in a family where sometimes there's a third party family member that always seems to get brought in to mediate the conflicts between two people? Well, that right there is a triangle in action. The third key concept we have is emotional cutoff. Now, in times of high stress and tension, sometimes a member of a family can emotionally or physically cut themselves off or distance themselves from individuals or the entire rest of the family. Now, this cutting off can cause immediate stress. It can also cause issues and affect relationships later down the line. And the last key concept we have is projected family issues. This is when a parent might accidentally and unintentionally project their unresolved emotional issues onto their children. This can affect their development and their mental health. A key example that people talk about a lot is if you have a very highly anxious parent, they might accidentally pass this on to a child, and that child may then develop anxious behaviors. But what does family systems therapy look like in practice? Well, sometimes the family systems therapist will work with the whole family in a group session, and sometimes they will work with the family members in individual sessions. And the goal here is never to assign blame or point fingers. The goal is for the therapist to facilitate a space that can allow the family members to see how their behaviors and emotions impact the entire system. It's about taking a step back and looking at the larger pattern at play. As an example, let's say we have a family that really struggles with communicating. A therapist might bring to light this idea that one family member gets really frustrated, which causes another family member to withdraw, which then causes a third family member to step in to mediate the situation, but in turn just escalating the tension further. So once these behaviors are identified, the whole family unit can make a conscious effort to change their behaviors and improve their communication. It's a collaborative effort, and it takes every family member to recognize that they play a role in the family system. Now let's quickly look at efficacy. So is this approach efficient? Family systems therapy can be really effective because it doesn't treat individuals in isolation. We all come from families, and those existing family dynamics all have an impact on who we are and how we behave. When we take a step back and we look at these family issues, be it anxiety, depression, or relationship issues, they often have roots in these deep seated family dynamics. So, what FST does is it digs at the causes of these emotional and behavioral issues by observing these relationships within the family. It seemed to be especially effective when looking at complex concerns such as chronic conflict, mental health concerns, or even parenting challenges. Let's take a second to talk about who family systems therapy is for, because it's not just for people experiencing major family conflict. It can also be for people that want to explore how their family has played a role in their emotional well-being. For any therapists or aspiring therapists, it's a great tool for learning how to navigate these complex family dynamics. Quick examples of who FST might benefit would be families in conflict, but then also individuals struggling with anxiety or depression and they feel as though it's rooted in their family history, couples even that are having relationship issues. It can also help children and teenagers that are experiencing behavior problems, or just benefit anybody that wants a bit of insight into how to better build their relationships. So, to sum up, the core essence behind family systems therapy is that looking at the family as an entire emotional unit and the individual cogs or the individuals can help heal the entirety. But we would love to hear from you. What part of family systems therapy do you think is most interesting? And have you ever experienced this approach in therapy? And what were your thoughts? I'd also love to know if there's any other area of life that you think this systems approach could be useful. Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more counseling and mental health content, and we will see you next time.